Hey, what's up, guys? Paco here, and welcome back to a new episode of Trading with Paco. This is the fourth episode of the series, and I've seen that you've really enjoyed the previous episode, so I'm very happy. So I'm asking you to keep up the support, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, activate the notification bell by clicking on it because I will be releasing a new video every Sunday. So I was looking back at my channel and I saw that the video that you enjoyed the most was actually the one about history and the 2008 global financial crisis. So, also by asking some of my viewers personally, I decided that I want to do a new video, always on the history topic or thing that happened in the past. And so yeah, today I've brought you a video on the birth of the euro currency. I hope that you will enjoy it. I said drop a like and let's get right into it. So, after the Second World War, Europe wanted to be unified generally. There was this idea of unifications, and the main reason for it was that we wanted to avoid that a new war could happen because after two devastating wars in less than 50 years, Europe was destroyed. Even the winners had nothing left because of how atrocious those were wars. So we actually started unifying Europe. So there was a unification through markets such as the European Community of Coal and Steel, because at the time coal and steel were the most important resource which we actually had in Europe. So there was a unification in that market and also the European Common Market later in the century. There was also an attempt to break down borders with the Schengen Treaty in 1985, where it really unified Europe more as one. Not as much as the United States, maybe, but definitely more than before. Also, in 1985, the Cold War was still going on, but it was coming to an end. So, Europe really wanted to unify itself even further by taking down the borders. So, the last step that we actually needed was a single currency for the entire continent. And in the beginning of the 90s, this idea was actually started to become a reality. But let's see. So, something to know is that Europe was separated economically because in every country there was a different currency. So this meant that when trading maybe some goods, there were a lot of taxes and especially a lot of conversion fees. Because here in Italy we had lira, in France we had different currency and so on. So trading was really difficult and there were a lot of taxes. So this idea of a common currency was actually being pushed a lot towards the end of the 20th century, and euro was invented. This currency was supposed to be the single currency for all the countries that were part of the European Union. However, some of them, like England or even Sweden, decided to keep their own currency despite them being part of the European Union. Anyway, most of the European Union was actually ready to change their currency. So some conversion rates were made at the Central European Bank, and the euro was originally introduced on the financial markets. Then, with a 3 year process that went from 1999 to 2002 here in Italy, anyway, 2001 and 2002 in Europe, most of the European countries changed their currency from whatever they had earlier to euro, even with paper money, let's say. So this is how it happened, but let's look at the pros and cons of having this single currency. Well, a pro is that the currency is extremely stable, unlike the old currencies, because generally, previously, we know in history there were a lot of the old currency could be weak or not really stable because it was just based on the single countries. Now that we have a currency for the continent, it's really, really stable. And also, trading in Europe has become a lot easier because conversion fees were completely, no, they don't exist anymore because we all have euro. And also, the taxes were reduced, which was very good, especially if you wanted to trade goods within the continent. Also, there is a lot less inflation as the euro is controlled by the single bank, which means that the inflation rates are very, very low. Now, though, let's look at some negatives of having this currency. Well, one of them is definitely the loss of national control over the currency because now that well, we can say the central bank is controlling euro, we as a country don't have control over it, which could look like positive because as I said, the inflation rates are definitely lower. However, this could also be a negative because now prices are really fixed. So if country is suffering economically, it's very hard to actually, start to develop a better economy because the the currency is controlled by the single bank, so it's very hard. Earlier, when every country had their own currency, if there was a very bad situation, they could actually lower the prices, which would be bad on the long run, but at least they would actually have more job opportunities, and costs were lower for the people. Now we can no longer do this anymore, which is controversial. Some say it's a positive, some say it's a negative. Anyway, as I said, countries which had a weak economy or weak currency earlier now suffer economically more because I said euro is a very, very strong currency. So if earlier, like in Italy, we had a relatively weak currency in lira, which was extremely volatile and relatively weak, now we are suffering a bit economically. Anyways, now in 20 years, we're actually starting to grow economically, which is good. Anyway, this was a problem early on in this century. So, as I said, these are the pros and cons. And, well, just 5 years after the introduction of euro, it was actually put to a test with the 2008 global financial crisis, which was devastating for the entire planet. If you don't know what it is, go watch my video on it. It's very interesting and it will give you all the information that you need to understand what happened and the consequences of the crisis. And right now, well, before COVID-19, generally the economy of countries that are part of the European Union was growing. Now with COVID-19, of course, we're going through another crisis, but we can say that in general, euro was quite a success, as now it's even stronger than the dollar, which actually really seemed impossible just 20 years ago. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will be very interested to hear about your opinions, or if you generally have the feedback, any feedback on this type of videos on history. You don't, if you like them, let me know. If you want some other formats, you can tell me. I'm open to listening. I will listen to you, and I will definitely apply the feedback in my video. Well, thanks for watching. But before you leave, check out my YouTube channel because this week I will be dropping a poll on my camera. As you can see, this camera, in my opinion, could be better, but I want to hear your opinion as you guys are the people that are watching my videos. So check my poll, which will be released, I think, on Wednesday. So yeah, feel free to vote if you think that I should get a new camera or if this camera works for you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.